Hi, I'm Matthew Kenslow, and I have Asperger syndrome, which is a mild form of autism. I was diagnosed with it when I was about 6 years old, and with a speech delay when I was 3 years old. And having Asperger syndrome, which is, again, a form of autism, there's a lot of hardships involved in it, and I thought I could describe a few. A lot of these are typical for people with autism and Asperger's, and or more general symptoms of it. So for example, I have a extreme struggle with shutting my mind off. It is hard to go to sleep at night, about every single night, all my life. Basically, I go to bed and I'm asleep within maybe 2-3 hours later, and I can't seem to do anything about that. I'm always thinking about ideas, thinking about scenarios, thinking about ways to help people, thinking about how to ask questions. If I'm questioning something in my mind, I like to know how I should ask a professional by getting prepared for it, and or other ideas, and I just can't seem to do anything about that. A lot of times it's easy to get distracted by things out the window, for example, because there's a window right there where I'm filming at, and right now there's a yellow jacket flying around outside, right outside the window, so it's easy to like turn my gaze or turn where I'm looking at. If I'm talking to a person, for instance, if I'm talking to you, I'm right now not looking at you, I'm looking at the camera, and just as if I'm looking at you, I could get a little bit off track in my eye contact, so that's something I try and work on. I have been working on that, and it's sort of audibly apparent that I am trying my best for enunciating what I'm trying to say, my speech, basically, and that's something I've been working on all throughout elementary school. You could hardly, and even me, I could hardly understand myself when I listened to myself back when I was in elementary school relative to now. Other hardships include reading. Reading has always been a struggle. I came up with the analogy that, or a couple of them, reading to me, or the words, or the letters T-E-X-T, all my life has been just a weight of tiredness. It's as if a big weight is being pressed on my head, and I just get like tiredness thinking about words and words and words and various non-stop words filling pages after pages after chapters with no pictures and such, and that just wears me out. So it just takes longer for me to read. I also say that if people could hypothetically, if people could read maybe let's say just 100 pages an hour, I could probably only read 4 or 5, maybe 10 pages an hour, if you want to think about it like a speedometer, like that. So so basically that's just something that's been a struggle. And then socialness. Socialness is a big one. I would classify myself as half introvert, half extrovert. I do feel myself outgoing, but I also have an inherent bashfulness, shyness. A lot of times when I'm around lots of people, either at a few like parties that I've been to, either if it's birthday parties or after my school's football game party or anything like that, I do find, or if I'm at the football game, which I started when I was in junior year, I started getting out there more and just going to the big game at my alma mater, Newport Harbor High School. And whenever I'm around, like where there's a lot of when there's a lot of noise, a lot of music, a lot of loudness, basically, noise, like I said, I do find myself like backing away, like leaning against the wall or whatever I could lean against, and my eyes are darting back and forth very quickly, and my head is spinning like clockwise at 100 miles an hour, where I could be going counterclockwise at the same time, and it's I hear lots of things all at one time. My ears, so many things are going into my ears simultaneously. I don't know if somebody's calling my name or anything like that, but also for more less severe cases, if I'm just out walking around, if I'm at a public place, but it's not like dense with people, but maybe if I'm just walking from class to class at my college, for example, or at a promenade or plaza or someplace, I wonder, like, are people wanting to get my attention? Are people staring at me? What are they thinking? Do they want to, are they long friends of mine that I haven't seen in a long time? Suppose they say hi and I didn't hear them. Suppose they get offended because I didn't return the hi back, or I didn't wave back, and all these things are going in my mind just by walking from point A to point B, because I don't want to I don't want people to think that I'm ignoring them or anything like that. So I'm very conscious about, like, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but at the same time it would seem a little strange if I'm just looking around waving at nobody and other people are looking at me. So I guess I'm concerned with how other people, how they would view me acting that way. For example, I'm up here at my apartment, and the window's wide open. I have no idea if people are looking at me talking to what they think is a wall, for example. So lots of things are in my mind at the same time. So essentially, reading socialness, bashfulness, and being very, like, apologizing for several things, being very sorry over, like, if something happens, it's easy for me to naturally just say, oh, I'm sorry about that, or just saying I apologize or something over. Basically, if it's unnecessary to say sorry, I would say sorry anyway. Another common attribute to Asperger's and autism would be bullying and teasing. Now, personally, I would not say that I was ever bullied, but I have been teased. It has happened a whole lot during elementary school, seldom during middle school, rare in high school, and even much, much more rare in college. So it's just something that a lot of people just pick on, little things that we can't help, that we are born with, and that could be impediment. It could be just our slowness to things, just being slow to understand what is apparently easy to understand, common sense type things, or at least to them it seems that if they know it, then we should know it. And sometimes competitiveness as well. They might, because for some of us it could be a hard time if we lose at a game, or in basketball or handball or any baseball or any sports, or a board game or something. When we're younger and when we're still developing sportsmanship, we could be a little slow to that, or at least some of us, and a lot of people could just pick on those things, or looks as well, of how a person looks. We may not be conscious, or we may be conscious on how we look, and it may not conform to how people expect people to look, maybe in their facial expressions, so countenances, or something, maybe a posture. So posture is a big thing among Asperger's and autism. Sometimes we could lack proper posture if we're not conscious about it. Alright, so again, I'm Matthew Kenslow. I'm doing these videos out of Autism Awareness Month, even though that autism awareness and acceptance should be like every day of the year. So I'm wearing blue in support of it. In fact, blue is my favorite color. A lot of things I have is blue. So this is just me, my symptoms at a first-hand perspective. at the same time, this is us, who we are, and my goal is to help people the best I can, not just in autism awareness, but also helping them in school or however I could help them. And to be an encouragement and a blessing to others. So I really appreciate your time. I like that you are still here listening to me. And thank you all those who supported me on my first autism awareness video, where I basically introduced myself, and I have gotten a lot of testimonies and reports back, good feedback on that. So thank you very much, and just remember, do not give up on your passions, and have a great day.